Welcome to Hamer Reviews. My name is Christopher Hamer, and today we're taking an admittedly very belated look at the production from my solar power system here in London, UK for February. It's part of an ongoing series, linked to that, the whole series above. But I'm going to chart the progress of the solar panels, what the production figures were like, what impacted it, and what you might expect if you live in the south of England, if you choose to install a similar system. So February's analysis is going to be a bit shorter because unfortunately I don't have the breakout of the actual north and south array. Apologies, I managed to miss snapshotting that. However, we can discuss the overall figures, and I must say it wasn't great. In theory, in February, we should be able to produce, towards the end of the month at least, around 20 kilowatt hours of power in a day. And the truth is that we only achieved over 15 on a single day. That was on the 8th of February, and that was basically the only day where we had wall-to-wall sunshine. The weather for February was pretty abysmal. That being said, we did still manage to get fairly close to the estimates that SolarEdge's designer tool made. So the SolarEdge designer said that we'd produce around 250 kilowatt hours in the month of February. We actually produced 226. So not massively off, around 10% give or take. The good news is because this figure is already markedly better than January, where the days were incredibly short, we're actually able to provide 70% of the electricity the house needs through the solar panels. So that is excellent. And the battery continues to remain a key part of that, with 73% of the power that the house consumed running through those batteries. So even in the winter, even without charging them from the grid, still saw massive benefit from having the batteries. Now the export figure is also starting to rise, and it's not quite exponential, but we're going to see some significant rises as the days get longer, and we're already at 38 kilowatt hours exported in the month of February, and that's purely due to 5 days where we had particularly good weather and I consumed particularly little electricity. Wasn't something I set out to go and do, just how things played out. Now I know I like to sometimes drill down into a few of the days that we had. Now, on the 4th of February and on the 21st of February, on both those days we barely produced 3 kilowatt hours, in fact less than that, which was hugely disappointing. We just had really heavy cloud cover that just meant that we didn't produce a huge amount of power. One thing I did want to discuss with regards to the north-northeast to south-southwest array is that really good day we had on the 8th of February, where we really did, as I said, have wall-to-wall sunshine, were the times the system was starting up and indeed shutting down. And what I did notice is that we're already starting to produce energy around 7:15 in the morning. At that point, it's around 25 watt hours. But we were able to still produce roughly the same amount, around 40 watt hours, by 4:45. So pretty much between 7 AM and 5 AM, we were capable of producing power. I did actually see huge fall off after around 2:30, and that's because there are some trees that are quite tall in front of my south-southwest panel, and due to the sun's path in the afternoon, that was causing quite a lot of issues. I've obviously seen that throughout October, November, December, and January, and that will continue into March, at which point we'll start getting days that are long enough that the sun's path doesn't hit those trees, and we get a much nicer bell curve in terms of the production figures, because there is this sharp fall off between 2:30 and indeed 3:30, where we basically go from producing the best part of 3 kilowatts an hour to the best part of 370 watts an hour. So those trees are unfortunately causing some kind of production issues, or rather performance issues. Nothing I can do about that, but it's still interesting to see the impact that those have, and that will obviously change as we go on. So that's a very short look at February, but hopefully if you have been following the series and were wondering what happened to it, there are the figures for you. And make sure you check in a couple of days when we'll be publishing March's figures, and then we'll follow that up with a few days later with April's, and then hopefully a few days after that with May's, and we'll be all up to date. So thank you very much for watching. If you found this useful, give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, do that, as it really helps me out. And make sure that you ask any questions you have in the comment section, as I'll be happy to help. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I see you again next time. Goodbye.